Welcome back, traders. I hope you all had a nice, long, and relaxing weekend. We had NFP last week, and personally, I did not have my charts open on Thursday or Friday, so it was a nice, long 4-day weekend for me. But it's time to get back into the action, so let me give you my opinions for this upcoming week, starting with the dollar index right over here. On the weekly chart, you can see last week price did come down to reclaim this fair value gap and then bounced up higher. However, it did not take the sell side liquidity below the swing low just yet. Now, I haven't given up on the idea of price coming down to sweep the sell side before going up, but I'm not saying that price 100% needs to do that. I do have a line here at this small swing high for a potential shift in market structure. And then of course, I do have my drawn liquidity above the relative highs up here and back up over here. Now zooming in on the daily chart, if we look back a couple of months, I'm not seeing any inefficiencies back in this leg here. So if we do get a market structure shift above here, I think we can be reaching for the relative highs up here. There's also this order block on the daily, and I think this swing high right here could also be a reasonable target. Moving on to S&P on the weekly chart, I want to keep my eye on this weekly BIST. Price did come down, tap into it, and then rally back up, taking out the all-time high. Now, I'm a little neutral on my bias right now because we did just sweep the highs, but as long as we're above this weekly fair value gap, I think we may be slightly bullish. Now, if we start trading below here, only then will I start considering changing my bias to a bearish bias. And should that happen, there is an obvious liquidity pool right over here. Now, if I zoom in on the daily chart, I notice that there's also a daily BIST. So as long as we're trading above the daily BIST, I think I could have a bullish bias. And then if we start trading underneath it, but above the weekly BIST, then I think this could be like a neutral bias area, and then starting to go bearish once we go below the weekly. So you can kind of divide it into these three zones for my higher time frame bias. Similar story for Nasdaq, but it is stronger than ES because you can see that this candle here closed above the swing high rather than just sweeping it. Also, we did rebalance this weekly fair value gap. You can see the bodies are respecting the upper portion of that fair value gap. So I think as long as we remain above this weekly BIST, we can have a bullish bias. And then only if we start trading below this BIST should we consider changing to a bearish bias. On the daily, same as ES, we have a daily BIST. Now, I think as long as we are trading above this daily BIST, I will have a bullish bias. And should we start trading below it, then and only then will I consider changing my bias to a bearish bias. And if I do have a bearish bias, I have targets right here below the swing low. There is a daily BIST and also a weekly swing low down here. Now, starting the week off the back of non-farm payroll, Monday and Tuesday could have somewhat of a consolidation. Wednesday, we do have CPI, so make sure you guys take care and be careful Wednesday morning. But that's going to be it for me, guys. I hope you got something out of it, and if you do, please leave me a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on these future weekly previews or any of my prop firm videos like the one I put out yesterday. But until next time, guys, safe trading.